idea. I have to admit, I feel like when we talk, I'm thinking about when I was a teenager. I want to talk about focus. And okay, this may sound bad, but if we're so smart, why have we struggled to focus on brain health for so long?
You're not alone. The brain is a beautiful, complex organ. And for a long time, we didn't think too much how we could support it naturally. Lion's mane, for example, is one of the most fascinating mushrooms we have found. And now,
I see it
um,
everywhere, by the way.
yeah, it's been used
Research.
tons of studies out there, how it supports the brain's ability to regenerate and stay sharp. You can think clearer. There are crazy studies out there where you really see that it helps you even to rewire and to reconnect. So that's something you really want to look into. It's such a cool mushroom. And I'm so excited that finally the industry is opening up because it has to open up since the demand is there and people like you who feel confused and me, everyone around there wants to know more about it. And you know that this lion's mane is what is called a nootropic, and which just means it helps you with things like focus, clarity, even with mood, and without overstimulation. That is very important.
Because I think that's what we don't ever talk about. For me personally, when I feel that I'm not focused, it does impact my mood. It's hard to feel good about the task or tasks I'm trying to tackle if I don't feel clear. It's like backslide.
True. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And that's why you also call it in biohacking the longevity weapon, the biohacking weapon, all these modern words. Because this is literally, for me, it's a magic mushroom. I don't want to use this word because then
Yeah.
people, oh my God, this is psychedelics. No, it's not. But it's very obvious that I'm obsessed with nootropics because the company is called what?
And Newt.
Exactly. Here you go. No, it's amazing. And I believe the brain deserves all the attention because that's where all those little hormones come from. And then you get with the information from the body and vice versa. And if the brain and the nerve cells and everything there is either chronically inflamed or all over the place, we know what's happening. And
And
dementia is only one of it. Let's speak it out loud. We
it
now
feel
talk about brain fog and this
yeah.
stuff, but there is serious problems out there.
Do you think the time is right? I love thinking about context, and it feels like we're so overstimulated
Mhm.
that it's almost to the point where we can't ignore it.
Yeah, true.
There's so much going on. I think back to when ginkgo biloba first came out, and
Mhm.
it was like, oh, isn't this a neat trick? That's kind of how people thought of it. Oh, I'll add this. It's like a protein shake, and maybe in that
Mhm.
moment I will be better. And then we saw where they started adding in the App Store a lot of brain games for the older generation to stay cognitively fresh. It's not just for one generation, right? It's generation agnostic. It can help everybody if we think about the power of harnessing focus.
Yeah, absolutely. You do some kind of workout, right?
Not as much as I would like.
But you just said that at the very beginning. What have we done for our brain so far? A little bit of gimmicks, a little bit of games. But now, yes, the time is there. Hey, there's something up here. Yes, we can help it thrive. We can help it heal. We can help it relax. And if this is okay, the brain is okay, and you feel connected with your brain and that it's not on a highway to hell and starts overthinking and does all these kind of things which make your mood bad because you are with anxiety and you are stressed. Go help your brain to relax. But that also means your brain needs constant workout. So there is different angles to get into that. So one thing is you overstimulate it all the time. On the other hand, overstimulation is, yeah, you're on the phone, you do this, left, right. On the other hand, uh, you do nothing for it, which really would the brain would need. You have to fuel it. And so your brain needs to work out too, also needs to relax. And it's a very important organ. And yes, we have neglected it for many, many years. We have even ignored it.
It
And now
almost
that,
feels like you can't just put gasoline or fuel into your lawnmower or something and not maintain it in between your uses. I like to fashion myself as a bit of a detective. I like
Mhm.
to watch crime shows and these different things and look at patterns.
Mm.
But I'd be really curious as to how, because I know how passionate you are about this. How have you approached this? Because it feels like, from my angle, again, from ignorance, that there's so many different ways to approach it. when we're trying to tackle focus. And so
Mm.
I know, just knowing you, this is a big thing for you. Can you talk about how you approached it? Because I don't know what angle I would have taken, and I'm glad that I'm not in charge to do that. But I'd love to learn more about just how you did that.
And certain issues, like me, overthinker, stressed, I really literally felt off sometimes. And then you have this brain fog. What can you do from a natural perspective? And then, yes, you have kids too. I have a son, very sensitive person, very smart, very creative. And all these kind of overthinking, cortisol overload, stressed out. It was demand driven. We needed support. And that's when we started creating the Genius Mushrooms capsules and the Genius Mushrooms powder. For me, it's the answer to support and to fuel your brain. Again, it's not the only answer, but it's something where we can really help our brain to either relax or to thrive or to get rid of blockages. We just talked about lion's mane, but
I'd love to learn more because I would think I'm not alone that most people don't understand the difference, and they just think of mushrooms as one thing or from movies in the 70s or something like that. They don't understand the power. So please, maybe the audience knows, but I don't.
so yeah, I really wanted to have daily accompaniment for focus, resilience, and also for the gut balance, because we know the gut is, I would say, the first brain. It's not the second brain. The Genius Mushroom Capsules is just a quite consistent, nootropic and adaptogenic helper, something to lean on when your system needs a little more strength and steadiness, or especially in times when your immune system feels vulnerable or your digestion is off. We just talked about the gut, or your nervous system's tired. You said, I'm moody. That's also when your nervous system is tired. That's why we put a blend of 7 organic mushrooms, or I call them medicinal mushrooms, because not just a mushroom. Those are magic, tiny, little, very powerful plants or mushrooms. One is lion's mane, the other one is reishi, the other one is chaga, maitake, shiitake, turkey tail, almond mushrooms, and it also includes the tiger milk and the black hoof. Those are very rare, but very traditional mushrooms and used for endurance and inner vitality. So those capsules deliver a broad spectrum of adaptogenic effect, targeting more the immune strength and the antioxidant production and for mental clarity. Yeah, and then there is the powder. And in the powder, we decided, because I felt we need 2 different products. One more like for the resilience and for the clarity. The other angle is more for stamina, flow, and more like the powerful ritual which you have in the morning. And you also have an alternative to coffee, because people need that in the morning, right? They want the stimulation. But with the coffee, you very often have the crash. So the adaptogenic and nootropic powder, but the chocolate powder meets you more when you're under pressure, your brain feels foggy, you're fatigued, or when you're preparing for an exam, they're working late, or you got to stay present all the time. You're tired, but you got to study, or you go through mental fatigue. You navigating through creative blockage, also something demand driven I had from time to time. You're a doctor and you have an operation ongoing and you have patients and you're tired. So these are very strong enhancer, not enforcing, enhancing, help you to your brain to really stay on. So it's this Genius Mushrooms 2.0. So we call it 2.0. It's a high potency blend of 4 key mushrooms: lion's mane, reishi, we heard about that one,
Yeah.
chaga, and cordyceps. So each one is standardized for high polysaccharide content, super powerful, but still plant-based and not enforcing. So it's gentle, crafted to support your cognition, but as well your performance and stamina, longevity, and most importantly, neuroprotection. We haven't spoken about cordyceps, such a powerful, great mushroom as well. It's known for supporting cellular energy, and it's perfect for those super long days and nights. We also have to think about the persons who have to work at night.
Yeah.
You need to stay mentally sharp, but your body's starting to feel it. Lion's mane offers, on the other hand, that clear-headed, softly energizing support for focus and learning. Reishi brings in all you need for your nervous system, calm and grounded. And coming back to my son, he loves that because he's going crazy and cuckoo before kind of exams and really helps to, it's soothing. And then it's the chocolate powder. You can just mix it and you have it cold or warm. And you can have it as your little ritual, your nootropic ritual. And
Yeah.
for me, I love it. It only has 10 kilocalories, so we didn't add any sugar. Which one would you need? If you're looking for foundational everyday support, for quick support during exams or situations with excessive brain performance demand, go for the mushroom capsules. And it's good for the gut health as well. And then if you're facing constant mental pressure, brain fog, fatigue, you want to go for Genius Mushroom, the chocolate powder, because it's really for stamina and flow and resilience. And but I don't even choose. Sometimes I take both. In the morning, I have the chocolate one. Yeah, because I know I have a 16-hour day and I love it in the morning. I just have the capsules with me if I know I have lovely podcasts. I can, some of them, I want to be sharp, and that just literally helps me. Both, sir, but in different ways.
No, I love that. And I appreciate you going through it, because part of this, I feel, is that again, I speak for myself, but it feels like you don't want to be embarrassed that you don't know. Right.
Yeah.
And the thing when it comes to mental clarity or overthinking is that it's going to be hard to see on somebody's face, unless maybe you know that it's your family member, your spouse, your kids, or something where you can read them without them having to say something. So it's almost like you're hiding or you're distracting others from knowing that you're actually struggling. You're struggling
and
to
that
focus.
is it hard on top. That costs on top. We now talked about 2 products of NØØT, but it's not about products of NØØT in that context. You can have lion's mane wonderfully on your salad. It's just a little hard while doing your exam. You can't prepare your salad. So you wanted to have answers for certain situations in life. But never forget, those are natural substances. They grow in nature. And there are several ways to consume them. So this is not the only answer, but it's one answer. And coming back to that, what you just said, I feel, honestly, focus isn't just a mental skill. It's a state of the nervous system. And when you feel pulled into 1,000 directions and caught in loops of overthinking, and you even have to pretend you're not, it's not a motivational problem. It's the brain trying to feel safe in uncertainty. And ironically, very often all this effort pulls us away from the only place where clarity actually lives, in this moment. Focus isn't just a mental skill. It's a state of nervous system. And what he says is about being present and to realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. So make the now the primary focus of your life. That's what I also try to do. I try to support my system with things like lion's mane or cordyceps, and really think of here and now. Now everything is okay. We're talking. Everything is great. And I can think about tomorrow. I can grieve about yesterday. But at the present moment, most of the time, everything is okay. And that's also something, coming back to the boot camp of the brain, discipline. You can literally talk to yourself and say, hey, now it's time for grief. Now it's time for happiness. Now it's time for focus. And you're not going to be all over the place, but now focus. And yes, you can help your brain to focus. But on the other hand, you also need to negotiate and need to make sure that your brain understands what you want. Does that sound weird?
Not at all. The health of my brain, it also brings hopefully opportunity to see the world differently, to engage with the world, embrace it, relax, enjoy it when I'm not under points of pressure, like an exam or a presentation. And I think we get so used to thinking of things as Band-Aids, especially in the Western hemisphere. That's how we think about the way we fix an injury or whatever it is. It's a Band-Aid approach. And that's not this at all in that regard, right? It can help me in that moment. But over time, if I have more moments where I'm clear, I think that impacts me even when in essence, I'm just relaxing.
Absolutely. The most common thing to relax is drinking alcohol. And that is a huge issue. Alcohol is a neurotoxin, we know that. And what does alcohol do is it gives you that relaxation, but it numbs certain parts and presses it all down. And then you feel happy and relaxed, but it comes back like a ball. And then that's the problem with alcohol, the problem of you numbing things, because this overthinker is there, these feelings are there. So you said Band-Aid, alcohol is a Band-Aid.
And then it impacts your
It's a
sleep.
very common
right?
thing.
And then you don't sleep well. And the next day, the stress continues.
I have to admit, I love my glass of wine, but I'll be very conscious about that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest band-aid solutions is not the pill, is the beer or the wine. Very dangerous. And you hear back from it the day after or month or years after.
All right, last thing I'm just curious about. This is just me reading the room because I feel clear. I had my genius mushrooms this morning. Is if I had to guess of the different things that that you've worked on, that if there's one you had to pick as you're running out of a burning building, there's something about the clarity and the support it gives your brain that this is like this, everything is special to you, right? And they're all sort of your babies in that way. But there's a special meaning to this effort around clarity and like, I think of it almost like a relationship to trust, like trusting myself and feeling clear in that moment. And when I'm more proactive about my brain health, I can do that as opposed to fearing it because it means it's a moment of anxiety or stress.
Yeah. For me, this is a very emotional topic because in my family, I had a lot of issues, and issues is a small word for big losses. When overthinking becomes anxiety, when anxiety becomes depression, when depression becomes a constant companion, and then you end up in a decision where you just feel like so off that life isn't worth living. So when you ask me about, the favorite product, what would you take? What would you do? It truly depends on the situation. But if your brain or your hormonal balance, because if your brain is off, your hormonal balance is off. If your hormonal balance is off, you're in cortisol overload. You're in constant stress situations, and you cannot even understand anymore where this issue comes from. You can numb it with alcohol. You can numb it with other substances or pills, which are very well known from pharmaceutical solutions. And I don't say they're wrong, but they numb it. The most important thing I really want to say here is feel where it comes from. And that goes back to brain health, right? If the brain is healthy, if there is not a chronic inflammation, stress causes chronic inflammation, not only in your shoulder and it hurts after or whatever parts in your body, it's also in your brain. This is where it all started. This is where the party starts. And then it goes everywhere. So please, brain health is the most important thing. And you want to fuel it. You want to look after it. And you want to make sure that this is okay. Because then all this rabbit hole will hopefully never get started. But if you're already there in this spiral, and the spiral of depression, and we just called it grumpy, moody, whatsoever, then you may want to go back to the root. And that is the reason why the products we have created with Genius Mushroom 2.0 go to the root. If you think about it, and you're not afraid of thinking about it. Sometimes the emotions are so strong that you cannot allow them to come up. You just want to numb them because you want to function. I've heard that so many times now. Why are you taking this and that kind of substances, or this and this kind of psychopharmaca and this kind of anti-anxiety medication? Because I want to function. I have to function. That's the way I function. Oh, good Lord. How long?
Just for that moment, they just want to get through. I always hear that. I just need to get through something.
Exactly. But then it's not a long route until your kidney says, hi, I'm not anymore.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so upset. And no, please start from the beginning and feel your emotions, look into them, don't numb them. We all have to function, right? It's not about, we call it Pippi Langstrumpf. We can't do every day whatever we want to do. We have to have discipline, put your shoulders back, go through the certain moments. Sometimes I say, I can't change the situation, so I have to do it afraid. Okay, it's fine. I do it afraid. I do it. It's good. I learn how strong I am. So it's not about being, just look after yourself. And whenever something feels up or uncomfortable, take some mushrooms. No, feel it, understand it, grow with it. But if there is moments where you need support, there's a lot of natural answers out there. And mushrooms, nootropics, adaptogens are definitely an answer. Answer meaning a support to reconnect with yourself.
For the mindful and the bold. Thank you, Dia. Next time we won't match. So when next time we chat, maybe I'll wear something different here. But thank you for educating me and hopefully entertaining the audience. You can go to NØØT.us.